Okay, so let me try to save my screen. Okay, did I save it? No, okay. So I'm sharing my screen. Okay, so let's see what we have done last week. Okay, so let me try to open my paint again. I'll just quickly recap what we discussed. So we have created a one on-premises VM, right? Okay, so on Azure itself, okay, I have created a VM and I just imagined it as my on-premises VM. Okay, so this is my on-prem VM. Let me keep it like this. Okay, so it's my on-prem VM, and within this on-premises VM, let's say I have enabled a service called, what is that service? What is service I have enabled to use the Active Directory on the on-premises?
Active Directory domain service.
Yeah, ADDS. Okay, that is Active Directory domain service. Okay, so this is a service, okay, which I have enabled, okay, which will give me the features, okay, to set up the Active Directory on my local server. So normal Active Directory, if at all if you wanted to set up, you need to have a Windows VM must install. Okay, so within this, okay, we have done till here, right? And today, okay, what I'm going to do is I will create some users here. Okay, so let's say I'll create some users. I'll just name them as, let's say, user 1, user 2, or maybe let's say I will name it them as a test user. Test user 1, no, test user 2, test user 3, no, test user 4. Likewise, okay, so let me create some number of users. And once I create these users, okay, how can I migrate those users to Azure Active Directory? We'll see today. Okay, by using this particular tool called AD Connect. Let's say this is my Azure environment. Okay, so here, okay, what I'm using? Okay, I'm using AAD. So AAD is nothing but, what is AAD?
Azure Active.
Yeah, Azure Active Directory. Okay, we'll see today, okay, how we can migrate these particular users, okay, so which are present your on-premises VM in the ADDS service to Azure Active Directory by using a tool called, what is the tool name?
AD Connect.
Yeah, so by using this particular tool called AD Connect. So this is very important. Okay, so just have attention here. So we'll see how we can use this tool now. So till last week, I think, okay, so we have created one on-premises VM, and I just enable this particular ADDS service. Does anybody done till here? Were you able to set up the ADDS service on your local system by creating a sample domain and all?
Yes.
Okay, good. So now, so this is my VM, okay, which I have created, and I'm just imagining this VM as my on-premises VM, though I have created it on Azure, but let us imagine this is my on-premises VM. And let me try to log into this VM. Did you observe, okay, when you connect to the VM, okay, it will give you the domain name, whatever the domain you have created. Okay, so when I click on connect, this is the host name, right? So this is the domain I have created, that is corp.abcd.com. So okay, it will give you the complete kind of FQDN, okay, for your virtual machine. I'll say yes. Okay, I log into the VM now, and okay, so I created a VM and I enable the ADDS service. Today we'll see how we will create this particular users. I'll go here. To do that, let me go to the server manager. I clicked on this start button, and this is the server manager I have. Let me click on the server manager and let's close it. Okay, so here you could see a ADDS service is already coming up here. And if at all if you wanted to create certain user accounts or something, I can go to the tools here, and within the tools here I could see Active Directory Administrative Center. I just need to go to this particular place. Okay, fine. So this is your Active Directory Administrative Center, and in here, okay, let me go to the users. Okay, so this is the corporate. Probably somewhere here you could see here it is. Okay, so here is a carp local, and within this, okay, so this is the users tab. Okay, when I go to the users, so these are all the default users, okay, currently I have. Okay, so let me try to drag a bit down. Yeah, so here is the user tab, and within this, okay, so I have these are the default users. So I log into this particular VM using a user called Azure user. It is a built-in account. Okay, when I create a VM, okay, this account it is coming, and these are all related to Active Directory related. When you create an Active Directory, by default certain groups will be created. We have seen it, and Azure Active Directory, how we are creating the groups on your normal Azure Active, I mean Active Directory, on-premises Active Directory. When you enable this particular service called ADDS, so these are some of the groups will be created by default. Okay, so now within these, okay, I'm going to create some users now. Okay, so I'll just name this users as a test user 1 2 3 4, and let's see that how we can do it. So here I'm under this particular Active Directory Administrative Center. So within this, okay, so here I could say add, okay, users tab here, and when I go to the new, so here it will give me the option to create a group, new group, new user. So let's go ahead and create a new user now. I'll say user, and it will give me the pop-up, okay, for creating the user. So here you could see create a user, and let me create the users here. Let's say, okay, I'll say test user 1. Okay, and this is the account name. It will be coming corp/test user 1. Okay, and let me give some password here for this user. And here for the password options, I don't want it to allow this user to be reset the password on a first login. Okay, so password never expire. I'll keep it. If you remember, even your Azure Active Directory also, when you create a new user and when you try to log into the new user, okay, whatever the temporary password we have generated, right, it will ask you to reset the password on an first login itself. So that I do not want it here. Okay, user cannot change the password. I'll just keep this particular condition here. And one more prerequisite here is when I wanted to use this particular AD Connect tool, a user from the on-premises Active Directory should have a specific role called Enterprise Administrator. I'm repeating again, on your on-premises Active Directory, a user must and should have a specific role called, Enterprise Admin. Okay, let me take the different coloring here. Let me go with the same. Okay, Enterprise Administrator permissions should have, and similarly, a user here on your Azure Active Directory, okay, should be having a global administrator permissions. Okay, why do we need these? Okay, I'll talk about this. When you install the AD Connect tool, and from your AD Connect tool, so when you want to authenticate to the your on-premises Active Directory as well as Azure Active Directory, we need a user account, and for that user account, we need to have these particular privileges, that is Enterprise Admin as well as the Global Administrator. We'll see that now. So this user I wanted to add into the Enterprise Administrative groups. So to do that, okay, so if I come down. Okay, yeah, here you could see he's a member of. Okay, let me add into some group. Okay, so this is the groups, and let me check some groups here. I'll say otherwise. Okay, so let me go to the advanced. Okay, and here I'll just type enterprise admin something. Okay, I'll say fine now, and here is the enterprise admin group. I'll say okay. So here you could see I'm adding this particular user into this particular enterprise admin group, and I'll just say okay. So this particular user, whatever the user I'm creating, that is test to user 1, will be part of this particular enterprise admins group now, and I'll say okay. Okay, if you wanted to see that user, let's come down. Here is the user, and I did not give any description. There's the reason. Okay, you'll be not able to see any description. Similarly, let me quickly go ahead and create a few more users. I'll say test user 213. Okay, just let me name it as test user 2, and for logging also I'll say test user 2, and for this user also I don't wanted any password to be reset. So let me give some password for the user as well. And I'm not adding this user into any one of the group at this moment. And I'll say okay. And here you could see I have a test user too. Let me quickly create a one more user here, and I'll name them as test user 3. And here also I'll say test user 3. And let me not allow you to reset the password for this user as well. Okay, and I'll say okay. So let me create one last user. I'll user 4. I'll say new. I'll say user. Okay, I'll say test user 4. Okay, so here let me take him as test user 4. And I'm giving some password. Okay, I'll say okay. So I'm done with creating some users, and for one of the user, that is test user 1, I have granted the enterprise administrator privileges, because one user must and should have a enterprise administrator privileges and the on-premises Active Directory when you try to install the AD Connect tool. Good. Now I'm done setting up this on-premises environment. Okay. So now I have the on-premises AD is ready, and I have a couple of users. Let's see how we can migrate these particular users to your Azure Active Directory now by using a tool called AD Connect. Okay, so to do that, I'll go here. I'll go to my Azure Active Directory. Okay, so if I come down here, I could see a tool called AD Connect. So here you could see, okay, so manage your on-premises resources, authentication, configuration, and on-premises infrastructure using the Azure hybrid service. Okay, this is one of the hybrid service. So by having this particular AD Connect to be installed, you can also authenticate to your on-premises applications by using your Azure Active Directory credentials also. Okay, that is the advantage. Okay, you'll be having it. So at this moment, okay, so this AD Connect sync is not, not installed. Okay, and the last sync also, okay, sync has not run. And these are all okay, you will be able to see, okay, it is not done anything. So let me try to download this particular AD Connect tool now. I'll simply copy this particular URL. I'll go to my server. I think on my server, I need to disable this particular enhanced features. Otherwise, it will not allow me to use the internet. Okay, so this security feature I need to disable. Let me turn it off. And let me open my IE. And let's paste it. So this is the place, okay, Azure Marketplace, where it is navigated. Okay, when I click on to download this particular AD Connect. AD Connect is nothing but Active Directory Connect. And I'll say download it. And let me save it. And let me open in a folder. And here you could see I have downloaded this particular AD Connect tool on my on-premises Windows server. Okay, so to achieve this particular use case, I have set up my on-premises VM. Within on-premises VM, I have enabled this particular service called ADDS, and I have created a couple of users. And one user I have given the enterprise admin privileges. And now I have downloaded this particular AD Connect tool to migrate these users into my on-premises VM. So now I will install this. When I install it, for authenticating to my on-premises VM, I should be having a user with the enterprise administrator. Similarly, I should be having another user on the Azure Active Directory who are having the global administrator privileges. Let me see it here. So let me go to the users and let me pick up any one of the user here. And that user should be part of this particular domain, not like a gmail.com or something. Okay, I think I had one user. Okay, so let me take this user only, and let me try to see, okay, whether I have all the passwords I'll remember or not. I'll say Gmail, sorry, portal.azure.com. I'm just checking the login. Sorry. Okay, it is asking you for the additional security. So I think I have enabled the MFA here. Let me disable it. Otherwise, okay, I can go out with the other user who's not enabled MFA. I think this is the user. Let me disable this MFA. Okay, let me open the portal.azure.com. I'll say for now, yes. Okay, I'm able to log into this user account. Okay, and I think this user is already having the global administrative privileges. Let me check it. This is the user account. Let me click on it. And if at all, if you want to see, you can go to the assign roles, and this user is having global administrative privileges. If you wanted to assign global administrative privileges to the other users, okay, let me check for the other user. Let's say I'll go to the demo user, and here, okay, you can go to the assign roles. I don't see any roles. From here, okay, you can just add the roles. Let me assign the global administrative privileges to this user also, just to show you how we can assign. Choose it and add it. And this user will be added into this particular role. Fine. So as a prerequisite, okay, I have a user who is having enterprise admin on my on-premises AD, and I have a user on the Azure Active Directory who is having global administrative privilege. Let me go ahead and install this AD Connect tool now. I'll go to my VM, and this is the AD Connect. Let me run this setup now. Okay, here you could see it is started, installing the AD Connect. Okay, here we go. So welcome to Azure AD Connect. Okay, so let me accept all the terms and conditions, and I'll say run it. Okay, so I don't want to go with any customizations. Let's go with the default settings. So when I try to install this particular AD Connect, can you see connect to Azure AD, connect to ADDS? That means we need a user account. Okay, enter a Azure AD global administrator or a hybrid identity administrative credentials. Okay, I need to enter a user account who is having the global administrator privileges. So I think, okay, this is the user account I was using, right? Okay, let me copy that user. Okay, so this is the user account who is having the global administrative privileges. Let me copy it and I'll put it here. Let me choose it again and we'll paste it here. And let me provide the password. Okay, I'll say next. If this user is not having a global administrative privileges, okay, so here itself, okay, it will give you the warning or a pop-up. Okay, so now I need to connect to my on-premises AD. So here, okay, here is this is the domain I have created, right? Called corp. Okay, slash, I have given a user called test user one. Okay, and I think, okay, this is the password I have created. So that is the reason here, okay, I have specified not to reset the password. Otherwise, okay, when I'm trying to log in here for the first time, it will ask you to reset the password. So let me click on next, and you could see I was able to authenticate to Azure Active Directory as well as the on-premises Active Directory. And this is the domain, and continue without any additional things. Let's go to the next, and it will check all the pre-configurations. Okay, so once you click on install, we will do the following. Okay, so okay, these are the things, okay, will be installed as part of the AD Connect. So it will install the synchronization engine. That means a specific synchronization account will be created on your on-premises Active Directory as well as the Azure Active Directory. These user synchronization accounts will help you to sync your on-premises user to Azure Active Directory. Okay, so configure the AD connector. This is the AD connector will be installed. That means when this particular AD connector is installed, it will establish a connection from your on-premises VM to the Azure Active Directory. And enable the password hash synchronization. That means enable the password hash synchronization means if a user, okay, I have created certain users, right? That is test user 1, test user 2. They can also log into the Azure portal also by using the same credentials. Okay, that is the password hash synchronization. Okay, enable auto upgrade and configure the synchronization services on the computer. Let me try to install it. So now you can observe, okay, what are all the things? Okay, so it is going to perform now. So it is configuring this particular synchronization service. In the meanwhile, once it is started creating this particular synchronization account, we'll go ahead and validate it also. This might take a couple of seconds. I would say a couple of minutes. So we'll just monitor the installation progress. It is installing this particular synchronization services. So once it is done, so when you go to this particular, yeah, here you could see verifying the synchronization service connectivity to Azure Active Directory. So when it happens, okay, later it will create a certain service accounts also. So we'll see that also here. Okay, so this is the user accounts details, right? So here you will be able to see one synchronization account, same with the Azure Active Directory. So here you could see creating the Azure Active Directory synchronization account. So once it is done, if you go to your Azure Active Directory, you will be able to see that synchronization account. Okay, so I think it is done creating the synchronization account. If I go to the Azure Active Directory and if I do a refresh, somewhere I should be able to see this particular synchronization account. Can you see? Sync VM ADDS. Okay, so this is the account, okay, which is created. And to identify it, okay, here you could see directory sync. Okay, here you could see yes. For the accounts, okay, which are synced from your on-premises AD, okay, here you could see the directory sync as an S. And for the remaining, okay, you could see no, because okay, we have created them in the Azure Active Directory itself. Okay, so meanwhile, let's see the progress here. And now it is started installing this particular AD Connect Health Agent and all other stuff. In the meanwhile, if I go to your on-premises AD also, here also you should be able to see a user account. Okay, so let me try to do refresh here. I'll say refresh. So this is the button to refresh here. Okay, it is installing this particular services. Okay, let me keep them as a one single type. Okay, so these are all the users. Okay, here you could see this is the user account. Okay, so here you could see account created by Microsoft Azure Active Directory. Connect with the installation identifier so and so for the synchronizing this particular tenant called Banu and so and so. So these are the two synchronization accounts which will be created on your Azure Active Directory as well as your on-premises Active Directory. And these are the user accounts we have created, right? Fine. So let's see the progress. And here you could see the entire configuration is complete. Let me exit it. Now, if I go to my Azure Active Directory, I should be able to see those users called test user 1 and 2. They will be migrated here. Let me click on do refresh. We'll do refresh one more time. Let me do refresh here at the top. Okay, I think sometimes to reflect those changes here, okay, we have to do refresh multiple times. And here you could see I have the users. Okay, so whom I have created on my on-premises Active Directory, they are migrated to my Azure Active Directory. And here you could see sync, they are synced with the on-premises. Okay, you could see yes, yes, yes. And I was telling, okay, password has synchronization, right? So whatever the password I was using from on my on-premises Active Directory, let me try to connect to these accounts using the same credentials. I'll copy this user account. Let me close it. Let me open a new portal.azure.com and let me paste it here. And I'm giving the same password. And for the security, it is asking some additional things. Okay, let me go to the click on defaults. And here you could see I was able to log into Azure, okay, by using a same user account and same password. And by default, this user will be not having a access to the subscription, and we can grant a permission to the whatever the subscription you want. So this is how we can migrate your on-premises user accounts to Azure Active Directory. Okay, and let's say I went to my on-premises Active Directory, and here I have created one more user. Okay, let's say I have created user test 4, right? Let me try to create one more user now. Okay, I'll say test user 5. Okay, and let me name this as a test user 5, and I'm not giving any passwords. Let's say I'll just create one user. Okay, test user 5. This user does not have any password also, but that's the reason it is showing like this. Okay, if you wanted to modify it, okay, you can go here and let me give some password for this user. Okay, I'll say yes. It is not asking for the password. Okay, let's leave it. Okay, and by default, when I create a new user on the on-premises Active Directory, by default that user is not be synced with the Azure Active Directory, because within your on-premises Active Directory, whatever the synchronization account is created, right, it has some policy or a mechanism. It will sync the users for every 2 hours or maybe for every 6 hours something. But if at all, if you wanted to sync this particular user very immediately, we need to execute certain PowerShell commands. Okay, let me see some of the commands here. Okay, I say sync. Here you could see the first command. Okay, ADDS user to AAD PowerShell. Okay, so here I could say some of the articles. Let me go with these. Okay, so here I have something how to do it. Okay, PowerShell basic, how to force Azure Active Directory connect to sync. Okay, so I need to open this particular on-premises PowerShell as an administrator from your local server, and I need to run this particular specific commands. Okay, so this is what I have done. Okay, so this is your Windows server of your on-premises Active Directory. I just migrated them into the Azure Active Directory. Okay, these are the things that happened, and using the same credentials, I can authenticate to any one of the applications. Let's say, let me try to copy any one of the commands here. I'll go to my VM. So here, let me open the PowerShell. I'll right click. I'll go to the more. I'll say run as an administrator. So now I opened, and I need to import this particular module called ADSync. I need to get the schedule, and let me start this particular directory. If I don't have this particular module already, I'll try to do this. If not, okay, this should work. Okay, what I'm doing is I'm starting this particular ADSync cycle. Okay, let me do it. It is succeeded. Okay, let me go here to my Azure Active Directory, and that cycle has started synchronizing. And once it is done, I should be able to see whatever the new user accounts are created on my on-premises Active Directory should be able to reflect here. Let me try to do refresh. Okay, I haven't seen yet. Let me keep doing the refresh. Meanwhile, let me try to execute one more command here. What I have. I will do this also. I'll go here. Let me copy it. And then this is also succeeded. So let's say I'll come back here. Let me do refresh one more time. Okay, sometimes okay, it might take a couple of seconds. Probably let me do one thing. Okay, now I'll go to the Azure Active Directory. Let me go to the users. Okay, still I don't see that user. Probably it is taking some more time. Okay, for the synchronization. Okay, oh sorry, it is minimized. Okay, I should click on learn more because it was the page was overloaded. Okay, here you could see a new user which I have created called test user 5 is immediately migrated. So here you will be having a default synchronization cycle, and if at all if you wanted to initiate the cycle immediately, you need to execute this particular basic PowerShell commands. Okay, so this is how we can migrate your on-premises user from your on-premises Active Directory, Azure Active Directory, using a tool called AD Connect. Okay, so I want you guys to do this particular lab without fail. So in between, if you are facing any issues, okay, please ask me. Okay, I'll help you out. Okay, so, and with this, I think okay, we are done with almost most of the topics okay related to Active Directory. And since we have some more time, okay, let me quickly discuss about a new topic called Azure Key Vault. Okay, let me open the notepad here. So I'm going to talk about one more service called Azure Key Vault. So this is very important, guys. Azure Key Vault. So Azure Key Vault is something like it is like to within Azure Key Vault we can store your passwords, we can store your keys, you can store your certificates or any sensitive or a secret information. I'm repeating again, Azure Key Vault is a Microsoft managed service. This is one of the PaaS service. Okay, we discussed about the one of the IaaS as well as the PaaS, right? So Azure Key Vault is one of the managed service and it's a PaaS service, that is platform as a service. So whereas we can store some of the secrets. When you create a VM, you are creating some password, right? Okay, username and password. If at all if you wanted to store them, okay, we'll be using the Key Vault. And when you create a Linux virtual machine, sometimes you are generating a key, right? Some PIM fee you will be downloading, and if you wanted to store that key, you can store it in a Key Vault. And whenever okay, so when you host a web application, you might be using certain SSL certificates, right? And if you wanted to store that certificate, we can use the Key Vault. We can keep all the secrets in a Key Vault and we can fetch it also. Okay, and that is the advantage of having the Azure Key Vault. Let me walk you through the document, then I'll come back to the creation of the Key Vault. I'll say Azure Key Vault docs. So just follow this particular naming standards. Okay, just type Azure and whatever the service you wanted to see, and at the end just keep the docs. Okay, you will be navigated to the documentation page. And here you could see, if you wanted to see introduction, here you could see. So these are all the things okay we can just manage an Azure Key Vault. So Azure Key Vault helps solve the following problems: secret management, key management, and certificate management. So Azure Key Vault can be used to securely store and tightly control access to the tokens, passwords, certificates, and some other API calls, other secrets. Okay, so here you could see some of the advantages. And if at all if you wanted to create them using the portal, PowerShell, and CLI, you could see here. Okay, if I wanted to create by using portal, I can go here. Okay, I can see how I can create it. The same thing I can achieve it using the PowerShell. All right. And just now I forgot to tell you one thing I observed. I'm not sure how many of you observed it or not. So when I go to my VMs for Blade, okay, and my virtual machine Blade, I see some of the new features. Did somebody observe this one? Okay, CLNPS. Okay, so when I click on it, okay, and a CLI and a PowerShell, it is clearly giving you Okay, to start the virtual machine, what is the command I need to execute? Okay, to stop the virtual machine, what is the command? To deallocate, to restart, to auto shutdown, to have some VM extension list. Okay, so to list my VM public IP, to monitor the all the metrics. Okay, so to VM show. Okay, so it will show you the complete details. So these are the basic power, CLI commands with respect to your virtual machines. Similarly, when I go to the PowerShell, here I could say some of the commands. To start my virtual machine, start as a VM, this is scoop name and VM name I have to provide. For stopping it, for restarting it, some of these additional stuffs. Okay, this is a good release, very good stuff, wherein everything you will be getting here itself. Okay, just go through it. So coming back to our topic, so let's go ahead and create a keyword here. I'll go here and let me type a keyword here. So this is a keyword. So let me create a keyword and make sure whenever you create a keyword also, the keyword name should be unique across your Azure tenants. Okay, same as like a your storage account. So for your storage account also, the name has to be unique, right? So here also it will be same. I'll just name it as a test KV, that is test keyword. And this is a generic name and somebody might be already using it. Okay, test KV is already in use. Okay, let me give some random name. And this is also in use. Let me give some more extra number. Yeah, which is available. So I'm hosting in a USTS region, and these are the some of the pricings we have. Let's go with the standard. And by default, we have since this soft delete, right? What is meant by soft delete? I think we have discussed.
All the it is deleted, it is kept. We can.
Yes, exactly. Whatever you said is correct. By enabling the soft delete, what will happen is, unfortunately, if somebody deleted the keys or anything, by enabling the soft delete, we can recover them. Okay, whatever the duration you provided here. Okay, so days to retain the deleted walls. So by default, it will be there for 90 days. So I think it is not allowed to more than 90 days. Let me see it here. Yeah. So by default, okay, you will be having a 90 days, that is that 3 months. So somebody deleted any secrets or any certificates within this keyword. Okay, so we can just retrieve them by within these 90 days. So this is purge protection. Okay, let's see what is this. So enabling the purge protection on a keyword is a irreversible action. Once the purge protected property has been true, it cannot be changed to remove. Okay, let me see this one. Okay. Okay. Sometimes, okay, so even if you create any key permanent, if somebody deleted this keyword also, so we can just retrieve some of the keys, okay, by enabling this particular feature. So for now, I'll just say enable this. Okay, and these are the only details, okay, I have provided on the basic tab, and we'll talk about these policies, okay, will later. Okay, access policies I will talk about after creating this particular keyword. But by default, okay, so whatever the user account I'm using at this moment, okay, so this user account will be added into this particular keyword. And when I go to the networking, so same as like a storage account, if at all if you want to restrict accessing this particular keyword via all network, selected network or endpoint, we can do that. So for now, let's say I'll go with the all networks and I'll say review and create. I'll say create it. So now by default, when I create a keyword, right? Okay, so let's show you. Okay, I think anyways I have another login here. Oh, it is a different login. So let me try to log in with using a user who is having access to the subscription. Let me go to the portal.azure.com once again. I'll try to, okay. Okay, I'll do that operation later. So meanwhile, let's wait for the keyword creation, and it is done. Let me go to the resource, and here you could see this is my keyword, and here you could see the symbol. And when you create a keyword, make sure that a vault URI will be created, same as like you have an endpoint for the storage account, right? And if at all if you wanted to use your storage accounts and some automations, we can use this particular vault URI. Okay, and some of the details here you could see about your keyword, and you could see the monitoring. Okay, how many total requests are coming and everything you can monitor. And what is the average latency? Latency is nothing but how fast it is responding, and success ratio and everything. And these are the tools we can integrate your keyword, and you can go to the some of the tutorials as well. Now let me come back to this section. Okay, these are all pretty common. You can go through some of the problem statements also, and let me come back to the keys. So these are the three management we need to perform. We can generate keys, we can generate key secrets, we can store the certificates as well. So for now, let's say let me show you how to generate a key also. So the key is nothing but, so when you create a Linux virtual machine, we are downloading certain key, right? So that is okay. If you wanted to import certain keys, you can import. For now, let me generate one. Okay, I'll name it as a test key. Okay, and these are the details. I'm going with the defaults. I'll say create it. Okay, now I have just created one key called test key. Similarly, let me go ahead and create one secret. So let's say my VM password. Okay, I'll say Windows VM password. Okay, and let me give some password here. I am giving some password called password to the rate of 12345. Okay, and I'm not setting any activation data or something. Let's create it. Okay, similarly, I can upload some certificates. Let me try to upload some certificate also. So let's say I'll import it. I'll name it as, let me keep it as, I have some certificate, right? I think it is gone. I don't have any certificates on my local system at this moment. Let's forget about the certificate. I don't have any certificate at this moment. So we'll talk about secrets and keys now. So I log in with a user called Azure Ramakrishna, right? And this user has created this particular keys and certificate, keys and secrets, I'm sorry. Let me try to log into the other user account on the same tenant on a same subscription. Let's see whether that particular user can see that secrets or not. I'll go to the user accounts. I'll take up this particular ID. I think this is an ID. This user having a access on my this on the same subscription. Let me go here. I'll put it here. Okay, let me skip it for now. I'll say yes. So same subscription, same tenant. If I go to the subscription, here you could see this user is also having a subscription access. Now if I go to the keyword, okay, I log in with a different account. So I could see the keyword, but when I go to this keys, okay, you're not authorized to view this content. And similarly, when I go to the secrets, I will be getting the same thing, because by default, when you create a keyword, okay, and everybody can able to see the keyword, who server is having a owner access, contributor access, or reader access, but these permissions to the keys, secrets, and certificates will not be there by default. They have to assign themselves. Okay, so to do that, they can go to this access policies. So I am into the other account. So here as a user under the access policies, this user who has created this keyword having the permission to the keys, secrets, and certificates. So these are all the permissions I had. So that's where you will be able to see. So if at all if I wanted to see those things again, I need to go to the access policy. I need to assign myself those access policies. I just click on this access policy, and here I'll say key, secret, and certificate management. And for the keys, what are the permissions you wanted? Here you could see. For the secrets, what are the permissions you wanted? For the certificates, what are the permissions you wanted? So if you don't wanted any deleted permission, you can remove that. And for the secrets also, if you don't want it any delete permission, you can remove that, and I'll say add it. And I think I need to choose the account here. Let me enter my account. So this is an account. I'll say select. I'll say add, and don't forget to save it here. If you see, I just added this account, okay, into my access policy, and let me save it. So since I have added my account, that is Azure Ramakrishna at the rate of some domain name, now if I go to the keys, I should be able to see that key. And I did not give any delete permission, right? Okay, so by default, this delete option will be disabled for me. Can you see it here? Similarly, if I go to the secrets, so this is my secret, that is Windows VM password. If I get in here, and this delete permission is disabled for me. So whatever the access you wanted, okay, you can just assign for yourself also. And sometimes, okay, so if somebody unfortunately deleted it also, we can just simply restore it. Let's say I'll go here to my secrets. I'm back to my another account. So this is my password, right? Let's say I'll delete it. Okay, so there is no secret at this moment. I can restore it also because I have a soft delete is enabled. I can retrieve it, okay, for next 90 days. So to do that, you can go to the manage deleted secrets, and here I could see the secret which is deleted. Okay, and here you could see deleted date and the number first, and it is like, you know, we can restore it up to January 38th. I'll say it, I'll say recover it, and I just recover that particular password. So to reflect here, I'll just simply do a replace. Otherwise, you can go back here. Can you see? I'm able to see that password back again here. So that is the advantage of having, you know, this particular soft delete. And I can also take a backup of this particular secrets and keys also. Okay, so to do that, okay, so I can go here to the secret, and I can download this backup. I'll say download. I'll say download. This will be downloaded. This entire keys will be downloaded here. Okay, on my downloads page. Here you could see this is the download. So now, if something goes wrong, also I can just, you know, restore the backup. When I click on restore backup, so it will ask you for this particular keys secrets. That means we can take a backup of your secrets and keys also. By default, you can take a backup. Maybe if not, okay, you can just, you know, enable the soft delete. If somebody deleted also, we can just simply restore it. So that is the, you know, advantage of having the key vault. Okay, so I think we covered most of the stuff. Yeah, so if you wanted to restrict the access in the key vault from different networks, you can go and select choose the selected networks, and you can specify if you wanted to go with any existing networks or any additional things. You can go ahead and add it here. And when you go to the security, okay, Microsoft will provide you some of the security alerts for your key vault if you're not following any best practices. And here you could see some of the properties of your key vault, and we can also apply the lock. And once you apply the lock, nobody can delete this. Whatever the lock you apply, let's say for example, if I keep only read only lock or a delete lock, let's say if I keep a read only, let's say test, and nobody will be able to do any action now. So because I just kept the read only lock. If I go to the secrets, and if I generate a new one, let's say I'll say one more test, and I'll give some random password, and if I create, it should throw me the error. I think the changes will not be reflected properly. Ideally, it should not allow. Okay, so I can create a new password also for this. Okay, I can say new version and same password, same secret. I can just, you know, create a new secret, and I create it. Okay, so this is the current version and this is the older version. Sometimes, okay, for your VMs or anything, if you change the password, okay, for the same secret, okay, you can go ahead and, you know, create a new version of password also. Let's say if I go here, and if I wanted to see the password, you can just click on so secret, and this is the value. I just entered some random keys. Similarly, if you wanted to see the some password of your Windows VM, go here, come down, click on show secret, should be able to see the password. Okay, so this is pretty much about the key vault, so which we majorly use it, okay, for, you know, storing your secrets and any keys or certificates, and we can just grant the access to the other users by default, okay, the other people who are having access to the subscription will not be having access to this particular keys, secrets, and certificates. We have to go ahead and add them manually here. And these are the some of the additional policies, access policies, so which you have to provide for the automation. So when you're trying to deploy your entire infrastructure, entire resources using something like a Terraform or maybe ARN template, and that time if you wanted to call some of the secrets from your keyword, you need to enable this particular access policies. Okay, so at this moment I'm not doing it here. And yeah, if you wanted to create some alerts, you can go ahead and create some alerts. So these are the some of the common options which I'm not going to explore for each and every resource. Probably can just go ahead and see what are all the conditions we have. Let's say if I click on create alert, so the scope is chosen by default. And if you look into the condition, so these are all the conditions I have. Okay, vault availability, vault saturation, API hits. Okay, so these are the metrics and these are the activities. If I keep all administrative operations, somebody does something, I will be notified. I can say delete vault. Somebody delete it, I'll be getting an alert. So those are the alerts we could see. Similarly, if you go to the metrics, and metrics, okay, these are the default metrics I have. Okay, service API latency. Okay, you could see. All right. And if you go to that, this will discuss as part of DevOps, don't worry. And if you have some issue, you can go ahead and create a support request with the Microsoft, and you can see the resource field. Okay, it should be available. And you could say some of the problem statements for the keyword. Here you could see keyword administration, managing the keys, managing the certificates, managing the secrets. Just to go through any one of the troubleshooting option. And this is pretty much about the keyword. And I think we are good with this keyword also. And from tomorrow, okay, I'm going to start with a new topic called app services. Okay, so which is very important. This is also one of this app service. Okay, so we'll create an app service and we'll see how we can deploy a sample application on top of it. Okay, so with that, I'm stopping my recording for today here.